Okay, so a word about the readings from the section, other conditions that may be a focus of clinical attention. So you'll notice when you look at this that there's actually it's not really paragraph text, or there's not a whole lot of it. These are just really a list of codes with definitions attached to them. So, and these, of course, as we're going to get into, these represent a way to formally acknowledge a wide range of social and cultural issues that may be having a clinical impact on the client or clients that you're seeing. So you don't need to memorize these. You'll What you want to do is kind of get a familiarity with the scope of these codes with so-called Z codes, um, and some of them. Well, let me say this first. So, you just want to get an idea of sort of the breadth of the breadth of range, or of the different types of conditions of other conditions, these social, psychosocial, cultural aspects, and just to get a sense of what they cover, and maybe even so you have a sense of what they don't necessarily cover. Within the section, there are a couple places where there's some longer definitions where I highlighted some clarifying points about that definition. Child physical abuse, child sexual abuse are examples. Child neglect, the different forms of child abuse are. There's some highlighted section there because those are lengthier definitions, so that we understand how these are defined by the DSM. Same thing with adult maltreatment. There's some spouse and partner neglect and violence, and abuse and psychological abuse. There's some longer definitions. I've called that out, and you'll see that in the lecture material. Again, it's not necessarily a whole lot of reading in the way that you're going to be reading sort of larger volumes as we get into the second half of this section. We get to the culture and psychiatric diagnosis. But anyway, read through this so you have a basic familiarity. I will call out to you in the lecture content of some aspects of some of the definitions that I just think are worth paying attention to, and that I may ask about on an exam. You won't have to list out, what are all the housing problems. You don't have to make a list. If there's any questions on the exam about it, they'll be around how does DSM define sheltered homelessness as an example. So like that. And like I said, I've got those things called out in the lecture content. So that is the reading for this section. And again, it's a way to get us thinking and about how we can actually create code or include social determinants, cultural issues, psychosocial stressors in the coding part of our diagnostic write-up. Okay.